Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come. We have got my Eminem S.L.I M Shady merchandise here to go through and show you everything that I brought, including every single vinyl that was released for the S.L.I M Shady. Before I get into this video, I do want to have full transparency. I filmed this video before, the footage unfortunately got corrupted, so everything is already opened, so the unboxing sort of side of this will be gone, but I know you guys still want to see exactly everything that I got from the merchandise drop, so let's get into it. After you press that subscribe button, you know you want to. So if we start off, I need to make a bit of a change here because I got myself two of the t-shirts. And first one we have is the White Castle White Rapper t-shirt that they released for actually more so to do with the Houdini side of the launch, where it's kind of like, I'm pretty sure he referenced White Castle in Houdini, but I know it was obviously in My Name Is. And it basically turned it into a t-shirt, and I do actually really like the design of this t-shirt, but there is one fault with it that makes me not want to wear it in public, and that is literally, it says White Rapper. I don't know how to describe it, but I don't really want to be walking around in public with a t-shirt that just says White Rapper on it. I just feel uncomfortable doing that. Otherwise, it is a pretty nice t-shirt, and technically not fully part of the drop that was released. They just did like a bit of a bonus one before it. But then going into the only other t-shirt I got, which was actually part of S.L.I M Shady merch, we have ourselves the S.L.I M t-shirt, which says, "Hi kids, do you like violence?" And you basically got it saying S.L.I M on the front there. And then you have the S.L.I M Shady logo on the back there. Very simple one. I've got to be honest, if you want to go here and watch my full like reaction to all the merch, I will tell you in that video that I didn't actually like a lot of the t-shirts that were released for the S.L.I M Shady. I know I said about wearing that one in public with the whole white rapper thing, but I feel like that's very tame compared to like some of the designs that were used on a lot of the other ones. And that's just a personal preference thing for me, that I just didn't really feel like I really clicked with a lot of them, whereas this one's a nice plain and simple one, which I feel like pretty easy to wear in public if I wanted to. And I'll keep wearing this one for the rest of the video. But we'll now find ourselves going into the physical media of the S.L.I M Shady, and that is beginning with the UK exclusive cassette. Now this one does frustrate me for a different reason. It's not the product itself. I actually think this is actually a really nice little thing. So hopefully you can see it all right there. It's kind of got like the coffin, again, the alternate covers they've done, but it's literally just like in black, which I actually really like as a cover. And I am going to keep this one wrapped. This is the only one I am keeping wrapped because you can kind of see everything that you get with it as it is. But the reason this hurts me a little bit is because I'd already purchased a lot of my Eminem merch on the US store. For some reason, like a month later, maybe a couple weeks, they just suddenly dropped a UK store, which hadn't been done before for Eminem for ages, which really surprises me. And I think it's a bit of an incentive. They basically dropped this as the UK exclusive to try and get people to go and use the store a bit more. And since then, I don't think they've really updated the store at all, which is unfortunate, but it still meant I was able to pick myself up this, and this is just going to be one that I'm just going to keep sealed, and it's just an extra bonus collectible for me. And actually, I'm pretty sure this is my first cassette. So after speaking about my first cassette, I'm going to speak about my first CD that I brought in a long time. Like, I have got some CDs like about, but I haven't brought one in ages, and this is the first one I've got in like, I'm going to guess like 5 or 8 years, somewhere around that time. And this one again is the actual alternate cover. This is the one that they were promoting a lot more in terms of the launch of all the merchandise basically. And I do actually really like this color. I like, blue's my favorite color, and that's like the kind of like tone of blue that I really like. And whilst I do think like the actual S.L.I M Shady cover is like actually quite iconic, I really like this one in terms of looking at it and like the meaning of it. And obviously it kind of like, I think this one like links very much more into the Somebody Save Me song and everything like that. So I really like this one. I think this one was like this, including the vinyl one, very hard to find now, and was kind of like, they were the only ones you could get only through the Eminem store, whereas everything else you could find through third-party retailers and stuff like that, whereas this one was directly just through the store. And one of the things that I find really interesting about this release is that on the back, and they do this for the vinyl too, which I'll get to next, but they actually use some photography from Encore, which obviously links really well into the whole like brand new dance song and everything like that. And I do find it really interesting about like Eminem's relationship with Encore, because personally for me, I would say it's like his second worst album But I think from his side, there's a lot of love for the album itself. So to see it kind of make a little bit of a comeback with brand new dance and everything like that, and to even include some of the imagery, I find really fascinating to kind of like delve into. But one of the best parts about a CD is the lyric booklet that you get on the inside. And on this one, before you open it, you get this, which they actually use as a piece of merchandise, where you get the middle finger on the suit. And then you also have the CD, which contains like, this is like what he uses as his Instagram profile. If I take off the CD, you then also get this artwork they use, which kind of takes a lot of inspiration from the S.L.I.M Shady artwork they did in like recent drops over like since like the expanded edition, I think. And funny fact about that is this was actually a piece of artwork they used for the Liquid Death collaboration they did with Eminem, and they put that piece of artwork on the side of the boxes, and I'll try and put an image up for you so you can have a look there of what that actually looked like. Not available here in the UK as far as I knew, so didn't pick any up. And then we have ourselves the lyric book, which firstly opens on one of my favorite images that has been in this drop. And one of the things I really like about this image is like seeing Eminem's like writing on notepad. Like, I've always loved that type of imagery when they've involved it with Eminem, because it's almost like seeing where like his rawest thoughts are, and just like it's like seeing the behind the scenes of like a product being made. Like, that's what the Eminem notebook is to me. Like, just seeing like all the rhymes and the songs just being put together. Like, I think it's so cool to see that type of stuff. And then as you go in, we then get like, the way they've done this is like in the style of a death certificate, obviously with all the credits going throughout, but I really love that as a design choice. This is quite a nice piece of artwork, because this really links in if you have got any of like the other vinyl records that were released for like the expanded edition of the S.L.I.M Shady LP, which basically has like the mummy running around. You have the women in there as well, which is actually a bit of a nod to down here. And it's just like they've all disappeared, and there's just like a load of stuff like that in this notebook, which is really cool to see. Again, going on with the death certificate stuff, and then the purple with candle, which you'll see a bit more of with that. And that is the Death of S.L.I.M Shady alternate cover CD. Okay, I know I said I was going to do it next, but one very quick thing. I was going to do a whole like little bit in the video that I did last, and I tried doing it, and unfortunately it didn't work out the way that it was supposed to happen. So some of you might remember that after the launch of the Death of S.L.I.M Shady and all the merch had done, he teamed up with Complex when he was doing like all the pop-up stuff around. And I unfortunately decided that I was going to take a miss on the London one. Guess who turns up about like 5 hours into it? Oh yeah, Eminem himself, and I missed out on it completely, and I'm very angry about that. That's one of my regrets. I should have taken a day off work, Sky work, gone and seen it, and just prayed, because in the back of my head I was like, what if he does show up? And anyway, this doesn't link to that at all. It just links to the Complex side of things, because they basically did like the front cover magazine in trading card form. Another bit of a tangent, I thought I had purchased the bundle of 5 which you're supposed to get. I have 2, because apparently that purchase never went through. So stupidly, I brought 2 sealed trading cards that I was going to open, and I'll save you the hassle. They're both the exact same, so I'll just open one, and it's the most common one you can find. And that is this one with obviously S.L.I.M Shady flipping off the camera and Eminem in the car or being kidnapped. And that's the front of it, and it's really cool. But basically with these trading cards, one of the things I was kind of placing my bets on was to either get a rare one, because they basically had like shinier versions, stuff like that kind of thing going on. But there was also another thing they did, which was they had signed 30 of them from Eminem himself. So was it really gonna ever happen? No. But you don't get a chance if you don't enter, you know what I mean? And unfortunately it didn't work out. But there's also the back side of it, which gives you like some like almost like a bio of Eminem slash S.L.I.M Shady, and like just a bit of a description about him, which is, if you want to pause, you should be able to read that. But nonetheless, it's a cool little bit of merch to have, and I've got a spare one. So now it's time for the moment you've all been waiting for, and that is the vinyl records. So I'm not sure which one I'm starting out with, because I've got 5 of them. There was 2 alternate cover vinyl records they released, and then there is also 3 of them with the regular Death of S.L.I.M Shady cover, but just different discs. So here you have the very front of it with, honestly, if you want to focus, this is probably my favourite cover of 2024. Like, I just think it's super iconic, and just, it was the perfect fitting cover for the Death of S.L.I.M Shady, and works really well. But again, we can now get a bit of a bigger sense of how that encore image looks right now. And the way they've lined up the track list with the coffin, I think is really nice. And it's nice to see that there's still clearly like some old imagery. Like, I would love to just take a look at everything that hasn't been released from Eminem. I'm not even talking about just the music. I'm on about like all that sort of like photography and stuff, because there's definitely a lot out there that we have not been able to see. And one of my favorite things about Encore is, despite the, for me it's my second least favorite Eminem album, and probably his most disappointing in my opinion. But despite that, I think it's probably his most iconic era and most recognizable. Like, one of the first images I remember of Eminem is him in the suit with the red tie and then the gun going bang. And the fact they were able to like pull out like Encore 2004 era photos and use it within this project is super cool to see. But anyway, you've seen enough of that now with the CD. If I open it up to the gatefold, this is exactly what you get for all of them, which I think is a little bit unfortunate, but makes a lot of sense in all fairness. So on my left, we have the candle, and then on my right, you have again that image of the middle finger in the coffin. And that one was another t-shirt design, which I didn't really feel like wearing. And then split down the middle, you have the iconic purple Slim Shady coloring, with all the credits to see who made the songs. So which one is this one? And again, there's that Liquid Death artwork that I was telling you about. Ah, it's the Crayon. For fuck's sake, I shat myself then. Don't worry, nothing major, it's just my Lego Star Destroyer thing. So I quite like the way they've done this with the inner sleeves. So this is again the same for each one. You get one which is actually a photography based one, which tends to be the second one from what I've found, which is also the image that they use within the CD booklet. And obviously with this one being bigger, you can get a bit more idea for what's being shown, and you can see a bit more of Eminem's notepad and everything, and obviously the like mural they've set up there, which is really cool. Back of it is literally just blue. But then on the other side, they've gone for more of a graphic, which is again that Liquid Death one I was on about, and then on the back of it is also just red. But this is probably the vinyl record that you guys would have probably seen the most or promoted the most, and it's basically this Crayon version, which basically has 3 different colors in it, which are obviously very pastel colors, like which fits the whole theme of Crayon. On the middle, you kind of get what was on the CD as well. And then on the other side, you get that trailer park graphic that I also showed you in the lyric booklet. But disc number 2 contains a little bit of variation on those colors, still using that pastel blue, but this time you get red and purple as well on there. And then you also get this thing of the pill, which has the Slim Shady mummy inside there as well. So that's the first version. To save us some time, I'm literally just going to pull out the other 2 records that have got the same cover and just show you the vinyl records themselves to show what you could have got. And then after I've done those 2, I'll move on to these 2, which are the alternate covers. So the second one I've got is actually a really limited edition version they did of this, which is basically the Spotify exclusive. And with this one, you get this really nice like tie-dye disc. Now when I first did unbox this, I didn't really vibe with it too much, but now I'm looking at it, like, this is one of my favorite things, right? It's when they make colored discs that actually suit the cover and actually kind of like merge and blend in well with it. And when you look at it and you look at like all the tones and everything with the red, blue and like the purple lighting, this perfectly like goes with this album cover. So fair play to them for making this one, and I actually really, it's grown on me a lot. There's one side of that one, and then there is the other one. And then because I know one of you are going to be curious, you're going to want to see the second disc that came to see the difference. And that is it there, and then there's the other side of it there for you. So that's a Spotify exclusive disc. And that now brings me to this one, which is probably the one, I think if you go into any like independent stores or anything, this is probably the one they're gonna have stocked. And that comes with a solid blue disc. There's the front, there's the back. And also a solid red disc. There's the front. And there is the back. And as this one to me comes across as the most common one that you're going to find, I think this will end up being the one that I end up playing on my record player whenever I decide to listen to the Death Slim Shady on vinyl. So the final 2 bits of merch are, again, vinyl records. And they are both alternate covers. And the first alternative cover is this one. Now originally when I first saw this, it was for like the print that you could get, and it was basically designed to have like the Eminem signature on it for you to try and buy, but yeah, those go quick and you're literally, you may as well enter the lottery anniversary if you're trying to plan on getting an Eminem signature. But I actually really love the artwork, and like obviously we have this alternate cover, and this is basically that but just zoomed out of, and I actually really liked it. And when they eventually released this, again, this was like more of a like independence, like you couldn't get this on the Eminem website. This is just one that you could probably find in like your local store more than likely. Like you can find the one I just showed you in your local store, but this one's again probably going to be the more harder one to find. And the records in this one are a tad bit different. So this I think is the second disc, and it again goes for that red and blue theme. However, this time you can slightly see through it, so it has got that transparent thing going on with it. So there's that disc, and then the second one, which is the blue, and I really like this style of blue as well. Like if I try and put it a bit more to the light, you can get a bit more of an idea of the colour going on here. It feels quite similar to the Biggie 30th anniversary blue that I got, but I absolutely love this like colour going on here. So that's the fourth record that I've gone through for you, and the first alternate cover that I have gone through, and again it's the exact same on the back as before. But if we were to take a zoom in, we would find ourselves with this cover, which is obviously the zoomed in version, just focusing on the coffin and a little bit of the backdrop, which again is the coffin, just with the lighting hitting off it. No difference throughout. Again, I'll even show the gatefold just to remind you what it looks like, because it's been a minute. And I do really like the cover for this one, and this is like the most limited version you could get of it, because it was only available through the Eminem store. I think they sold out on the US store, then the UK store opened and they had more, but they sold out quick as well, which not only did this one come with an alternate cover, of course it came with different versions of the records. And the idea of this one is it's supposed to be a bit of a blood-stained, blood-splatter clear disc. I personally think this is the worst out of all the ones that I have opened today, because I think my Weekend After Hours is a really good comparison for this, with the blood splatter effect that one has, but like in the nicest way. To me, this just looks like a nipple being covered up with a sticker or something. Like, I personally don't really vibe with the look of this one. I really like the clear, transparent bit going on, but I think I've got nicer transparent, like plain white records, but this red, more pink more than anything, just doesn't... it's just a little bit disappointing for me, this one. And just so you can see it's not a one-time thing, yeah, you've also got kind of the same thing going on with this disc as well, but it's unfortunate. Let me know how you guys feel about this disc, because for me, I'm not feeling it. It doesn't really do the effect I think it was trying to do. However, it's definitely still worth it for this cover. I do actually really like the cover that came with this one, so there's a win there at the very least. And that, everybody, was every single vinyl record that I got for the Eminem S.L.I.M Shady merchandise. It's also the 2 t-shirts I got, the trading cards, as well as the CD and the cassette. I feel very grateful I was able to purchase each and every one of the vinyl records that came out for the S.L.I.M Shady. Like, as an Eminem collector, it makes me feel quite fulfilled. However, I don't think I'll be doing it again, and I'm going to tone down on the whole like variants of vinyl records. I want to make a video addressing that, because I think it's getting ridiculous at the moment. So I don't encourage you guys to go out and get every edition, but do let me know which edition is your favourite. And hopefully, if you were struggling to pick one, this video has been able to help you decide which one you like the most. And if you want to try and find them, you're probably going to have better luck with 3 of these, excluding the Spotify exclusive one, and this one's probably going to be quite a hard one to find, for a good price at least. Let me know what you thought of the merchandise that was released for the S.L.I.M Shady in the comments below. I thought overall it was pretty decent, and there was some good stuff in there. But wait, there's one more. And I hope you guys like Relapse, because for the first time in a long time, we've got some new Relapse vinyl related merch. I actually think in the UK they released this at like 3 AM, and they basically had like this random Halloween drop essentially for Eminem for 48 hours only. There was an Eminem plushie, some t-shirts, which again looked kind of crap, and the 15th anniversary of Relapse. Now, it's not of the full album, it's a picture disc, and it has 3 AM on one side and My Mom on the other side. You have no idea how stoked I am to actually have another Relapse related thing in my collection that isn't just the vinyl for the album. I'm really appreciative of the fact they dropped this for us. And obviously it actually says on there this was meant for the 15th anniversary, and that was in May. So I think they decided because it was too close to the death of Slim Shady. They had just done the in February they did the Slim Shady Zoetrope, and I think trying to fit this in for the 15th anniversary didn't work, so they clearly saved it for this Halloween drop. And I just feel so happy to be able to have this. That's all I gotta say. As someone commented on my previous video, hopefully they do something for the anniversary of Refill, because I'll tell you what I want from Refill. I want this white Slim Shady thing they did, but with the Refill cover. It's already white, so you've already got the designs there. It's just a color change, not nothing major. And then do this where you get all the different shots. Like, imagine if this was filled with Relapse stuff, right? That would be perfect for this style of thing. 15th anniversary. This is a 20th anniversary they do these for, but this would be so perfect for the whole like Refill style with the white cover and everything. Like, I want that. I'm not going to open it because you can already kind of just see through it pretty nicely, but you obviously have 3 AM about to hit on the clock with bloodstain on there, and then you also have like a load of drugs in the back of it, obviously linking into the My Mum song quite well. So I hope you enjoyed this like little bonus addition to the merch. I love the fact that this was included. Like, look, I am a massive Relapse fan. I would take anything Relapse on vinyl. Genuinely, please give me more. Release a picture disc for every song on there. Oh my god, a picture disc for My Darling and Be Careful What You Wish would go so good together. Oh, and for Beautiful and Deja Vu, imagine that picture. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Back to the outro. This is everything that I got from the Death of Slim Shady merchandise. Let me know what you thought about the merch drops in the comments, and I shall see you in the next video. Take care. See you later.